Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back, everybody. I want to get in your head for just a moment. Have you thought about this at any time recently? I want to get healthier. I feel that going to the doctor is okay, but they don't really go deeper into true holistic wellness. I don't want to just get a pill and take that for whatever reason. I really want to get healthier. And that also means spiritually, mentally, nutritionally, body. Maybe you need supplements, all of that. Well, we're going to talk about that today with somebody that can coach you to a full transformation, give you true inner peace. And as you get older, one thing you realize, and I would have never said this when I was younger, health is everything. Doesn't matter how much money you got. It's not going to help you if your health declines and there's no way to come back from that. We're going to talk with an amazing coach that can help you make that transformation. And she is with us today. Candy Holmes Foster joins us on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you, Steve.
So much to talk about
here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. It's just someone's like, you ask the universe shows up. I was just having this conversation with some people close in my life about finding somebody that does what you do. And I didn't even know where to turn. So then there you show up. And then I'm like, yeah, all right. The spiritual thing, I've been working on that for a while. I wonder if I can take it even further. Certainly the physical health aspect for sure. The nutrition side of it, like all of that. Who's a perfect person? Am I describing what somebody would call upon you for?
Oh, 100%. Nobody's a perfect person. I'm not a perfect person. I have those conversations with myself still. So
yeah. But you know what? You offer so much, and we don't realize. Right down to food. Why don't we start there? Would that be all right?
Sure. Absolutely.
They say that food is medicine, and that's been said for literally centuries. I can't remember who said that. Socrates. Yes. I don't even know. But we don't realize what we're putting in our bodies is directly resulting in how we're feeling, how we're acting, all of that. And especially as time goes on, let's admit it, our food supply is tainted. There's pesticides. It's bad for you.
It's terrible. Yeah, it really is. And, unfortunately, we trust the people that we buy these things from to feed us something that's good for us. But much of it is not.
I never get political, but I look at it this way. We trust the government to make sure FDA it approves things and it's good for us. And I only in the last year learned that even pet food is not governed. They could put anything in pet food. It's like, what? Are you crazy?
Yep.
Unbelievable.
True. Yep.
So start the food journey. Yeah, you're working with somebody. Let's say, one thing is definitely nutrition. What are some starting points or first thoughts you have about food?
My first thing is get rid of the processed stuff. If you can get back to whole foods, that's the biggest step you can take.
And
because our body doesn't know what to do with that processed stuff, right?
How do you define processed?
Well, it's like everything that we buy in the store is somewhat processed, but I lean towards hyper processed stuff. When I always say my mom's favorite snack is a Dorito, and our body doesn't know what that is. And when you think about it, what is in a Dorito? It's like all kinds of stuff, but nothing really seems like food.
But on the other side of it, we look at that and we say, or something similar to a Dorito, it's a corn chip. It's got corn.
Right.
It's good for you. It's all right.
We can make all the excuses we want, right?
Right. But I think that's where the rationale comes. And even though, I like to think I'm somewhat intelligent, when you say processed, I have to process that and think,
right.
I might have not come up with corn chip or Dorito initially, because I think there in my mind, there's, I don't want to say some health benefit, but it's not that bad for you. But in reality, it's all processed. Here's a great example, and this one like blew me away. And I think you'll relate to this. So I'm like, all right, I want to make something for breakfast a little bit better. Don't have time. So I find these meatless patties. I'm not a vegetarian, but I figured, okay, why not? It's got, it's made with vegetables, blah, blah, blah. So I buy it, tastes okay, throw it on an English muffin, little slice of pepper jack cheese. I'm like, wow, okay, not so bad. Yeah, it's got carbs with the muffin, but a treat on a Sunday, whatever it might be. So then I look at the package, which of course is green, looks healthy, and I start drilling down more. And I realize it's made from some company, Key something. I can't even remember the name. It's Kellogg's. It's
Yeah,
Kellogg's, and it's just
right.
camouflaged. So I'm thinking, I'm eating healthy. It's not. And then to your point, how did they get something that's meatless to taste like meat? Can't be good. It can't be good for
That's
you.
funny because I was vegan for 2, 3 years and what struggled with it, but just was like on a mission. And then I started really going like, well, what's in this stuff?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, what am I putting in my body? So, it's
Hmm.
like that. There are good stuff out there for vegans, and I would never bash it because I enjoyed it while I was there. But it's definitely, you got to look to find something clean, it's for sure.
Yeah, clean's a great word. Um, what about organics? Like you're shopping for vegetables, fruit, um, something that's certified organic. Is it so much better? Should you be spending a little bit more?
I think that I think you do as much organic as you can, right? I mean, we all have a different financial situation, different, our economy's in a tough shape right now. But I usually lean towards the clean 15 and the dirty dozen. I don't know if some people know of that, some people don't. That makes it a little more manageable than buying everything organic because you could go broke doing that.
Sure. And just to
But
paraphrase,
it
and
really does.
you could Google that. What is it again? The clean 15 and the
Yep.
dirty dozen, right?
The clean, the clean 15 and the dirty dozen.
Now, do I have this right? It's a list of things that are okay or not okay, obviously. But like, for example,
Right.
if it's something that has a casing on it, bananas, then you probably don't need to get organic because the casing on it, this banana skin, shielded it from all the pesticides out there. Am I thinking?
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
Yep.
All right. So
And
now I'm
the things that I really get concerned about are corn and soy, making sure that those are organic because they're so highly GMO'd.
wow. All right. Let's go
It's
basic
hard to
here.
find clean.
GMO stands for what, and what does it mean?
Genetically modified organisms.
Hmm.
So we've just fooled with it, right? We've changed it, we've added something to it and made it grow, insect resistant, insecticide resistant, all that stuff. And it changes what it naturally is. And it doesn't work well in our bodies.
Ew.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. And that, to your point, I went and bought granola. And I don't overdo it. It's got some calories and fat in there, but I'll take it and I'll sprinkle it on yogurt, whatever, get a little crunch, a little
Yeah,
flavor. So I'm looking at the container and I'm thinking, Steve is eating healthy. Good for you. Until I see in very small fonts contains ingredients that have been GMO modified or whatever it is. I'm like, really?
yep,
Come on.
yep.
Wow.
It's disheartening, isn't it?
It really is. But again, it goes back to we put trust in things, we put trust in labeling. We think that, again, I don't do politics, but you think that It's been approved. It's okay. It's okay for you. It's on the
right?
shelf. But no, you have to be your own best advocate. While we're on
We
food,
do.
what else should we know? What are some basic stuff, but very important things that are floating out there with food?
Well, you say, like we were just talking about, we think we're doing great. A great app to find is the Yuka app, Yuka. It's got a little carrot on it. That's a good app where you can just scan the barcode on foods and it'll tell you on a scale of 1 to 100 if it's good, excellent, good, poor, or bad.
Hmm. What's the
Kind of
spelling of that?
helps alleviate some Yuka.
Yucca. And then once you find out what's actually in your food, then it's puka after yucca.
Right. But the other good thing is if it says it's bad, you scroll down and it'll give you better options. So
Oh,
that's a really good tool if you're in the store trying to figure out which almond milk to have or granola or whatever.
hmm. Interesting. I think it was almond milk. I'm pretty sure it was that I read somewhere that there are some with more sugars in them than like diet soda, like not diet soda, the regular
Yep.
soda.
Yeah. Yep. Just like yogurt, right?
No, yeah, there's another one. Hmm, what? Let's go to yogurt. I love yogurt. Probiotics. Then there's prebiotics. I don't know if that's something we should talk about at this juncture or moving forward. What do you think?
Though, when you're talking dairy, that can be a very personal thing. A lot of people have dairy sensitivities or intolerances. So that's an individual journey, and that's where in my programs we kind of weed that stuff out. But looking for organic or grass-fed, pasture-raised, that kind of stuff helps to weed out some of the bad stuff. But when you're talking yogurt, you want to look for sugar, you know.
Hmm.
What is it they say? A yogurt will often have more sugar than a donut.
Mm. You just said some terms, and I don't know if they're marketing terms, um, but I'd like to look at that. Like you hear, made with eggs from free range chickens. Does that really mean anything?
Well, it does. But it's a lot of confusion, right? It's like
Hmm.
there's so much information out there and what means what. What's the difference between organic, free range, pasture raised, all that stuff,
Yep.
you know? Um, and there is a lot of differences and there's a lot of deception behind that. It's like, and I'm trying to remember which ones. I usually go pasture raised when I go eggs, dairy, that kind of thing, because it means they're out in the pasture. They're not in a building with a door this big
Yep. Yep.
to
Hmm.
get out, that kind of thing. So there's a lot it's a lot of information and in our busy world, who has time to research all that stuff? Those are some of
100%.
the things that I offer while we're on our programs is that education on what's the difference? Why do
Love
I
it.
care?
Love it. It's so important. You said the key word, deception. And that's what I feel. I feel like the public is being deceived in terms of, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I feel like we're being deceived in terms of our food supply. And it's like we got to take back some control of that. And I'd love to look
Right.
at the numbers if it's even possible. Not to sound old, but going back 100 years when food was much more pure. Life was a little bit
Yeah.
easier. I don't even know if it's possible to see cancer rates and all of that, but I got to believe things are better now in medical technology, but at the same time, it needs to be because of the stuff we're eating.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a big rabbit hole to go down, right?
Hmm. All
To
right, I'm going to
spend some
jump.
time there.
Uh, while you're there, let's jump down this rabbit hole. We talk about the free range chickens and farm raised and all of that. Do you believe in energy? And if an animal is stressed, not free range, like you said, in a uh, confined little door, bad conditions, that we take that on within our bodies, and that can have a negative effect on us. Does that make sense?
Totally does to me. I'm an energy girl all the way. And, it's like, and whether it's, you know, just the difference between beef and chicken, you think about the energy that those animals have.
Mm.
You're going to have, you eat a lot of beef, you're going to feel a little more grounded. You eat too much chicken, you're going to be a little more flighty, you know, but when an animal is stressed, they're exuding different hormones and that kind of things. And
Mm.
that's in that meat when we consume it. So
Yep.
it's the energy part, but it's also the chemistry, the science part of it too.
And if you believe, and more it's proven that a lot of this stuff, even stress, our stress, goes down to the cellular level. And many times that's why we suffer disease and so many different ailments, because it goes so deep. And then, there could be, I don't want to say genetics, but, lineage in your, we're going real deep here. Let's start
Yeah.
crawling out. But I get it. I get
I
it.
I'm all about that, It's like I
Mm.
can see the patterns in my family down the road that I
Mm.
carry through. It's like you can see that stuff if you start to dig in, you're like, oh, no kidding.
Um, I get you. And then for
All
another,
kinds of rabbit holes.
oh my gosh, yeah, like there's all holes in the lawn now. We could just keep going there.
Yep.
Tell us about your journey, Candy, that got you to the point where you're helping people with their wellness. Take me from the beginning where this all got interesting for you.
It's amazing. In 2015, I was a divorced single mom couponing, trying to make the budget work and all that stuff. I had two girls, and all of a sudden I got sick and ended up diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And I'd watched my mom go through some pretty harsh autoimmune stuff, and she'd been on steroids for several years, and I was watching her body break down, and I was not willing to go down that road. So I started doing my research and soon changed my diet to an anti-inflammatory diet, much like I coach today.
Hmm.
And immediately saw a difference in cleaning up my food and getting rid of all the stuff that you can get 10 for a dollar, right, with a coupon. And um, and then, it was like down the road, I was like, well, I can eat 100% right, but there's still something not, I'm still having flares and I'm still not feeling good. So I started meditating and was amazed. It was just blew my mind how something so small could make such a big difference in how I moved about my life, went on with my day, and the difference it made in my health.
Wow.
And so that really was the turning point when I was like, oh, I got to pass this on to the rest of the world. So I became a health coach, a meditation instructor, and then just kept moving in.
Thank you for sharing that and being transparent. And many of us don't realize the power of meditation. Well, maybe we should do a full podcast on that, and maybe do a guided meditation. But I see the effects of it looking at others. I have a friend, very close friend. He had a heart issue. We went in for just a regular exam, and this is 9 years ago. And they said, "Oh, guess what? You're getting in an ambulance. We're taking you to the hospital. You need surgery right now." They
Isn't that
found
scary?
a defect in his heart, routine examination. Guy's not that old. And that led to a path of better living. And sometimes it takes a surprise like that. He does yoga. And this is a grown man doing yoga, a man, burly dude doing yoga. And he says, it has changed my life. And I hear that from others as well. I got a friend, Chris, he
Yep.
goes on the roofs of buildings and changes their air conditioning units when it's in heating, HVAC, in extreme temperatures up and down. And he goes, yeah, he just started doing yoga. I got a YouTube video. I love it. I'm like, really? Okay. We don't realize how impactful it is. I'm not there yet. I do meditate occasionally. I do the best I can. I can tell you this though, in my journey in recent years, I look forward to quiet. Like I love going. I
Ah,
look forward, like people say, I can't wait to binge the next Dexter episode. I haven't, just started watching that. That is a friend of mine. I can't wait to go home and do nothing and just listen to nothing. Like I'll just lay in bed and I'm like close my eyes and get like clarity. Like it's amazing.
for sure. My husband's a logger, and he
Oh,
comes home at night and says, "Hey, can I get some Reiki?" And it's like, yeah. And then when I started doing sound healing, he'd be like, "That's really cool." So we do, when he comes home and asks for Reiki, we do a Reiki session, we do some sound healing, and we move on with our day. So,
he got way lucky with you. Like
and
seriously.
he thought I was weird when we started out.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get into, and I see that now, the energy side of you doing Reiki, of course, meditation, you do card readings, which is all, for another day. But
Right.
this is what I love in terms of what you offer. It is truly a 360 approach to emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being and health. I mean, it's health, it's everything. It's everything. Some could say,
100%.
you could say spiritual and, you kind of like dip your toe into the water. Some could, that's fine too. You got it all. It's amazing.
It's that my journey has just brought me to it all. So it's like I just listen to the universe and go with it. So
Hmm. Do you find that in this type of work, you have a insatiable thirst for knowledge? Like first you learn this and like, I got to learn this. I got to learn that. I got to learn that.
100%. I'm always, and I've gotten so it's like you don't have time for anymore. Stop. Put it away for a bit.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't have time to read, but I'm the probably Audible's most important customer.
and, and that's awesome. Because when you hear it like a podcast, it penetrates your mind. Reading's great, of course. Candy, tell us how the process starts. Somebody realizes I got to get healthy. Time is ticking. I got to do something. How does it begin with you?
It's my website, andyholmesfosterwellness.com. And right on the front page, you can schedule a free consultation. And we start that way because I always say when you have a coach, you have to have a connection. And if you don't, it's not going to work. So I always do a free 45-minute consultation so we can connect and talk and see. And, if I don't feel like we're connected, I can refer them to someone else. But it just gives us that time to connect and see if it's going to be a good fit.
Absolutely. It's a relationship and it's a personal one too, because somebody's going to
Yeah.
reveal what they're looking to do, what they're eating. Yes, I had Doritos last night. They're going to tell you certain things. Wonderful talking with you. Love, love, love your energy. You are so grounded. It's just like, you make me relaxed just even talking.
Yay. Well, thank you. This has been great.
It was wonderful talking with you. And I find it strangely ironic that we're talking about wellness and eating and all of that. And your first name's Candy.
You know what? That has been said once or twice before. When
Mm.
my clients come in, they go, I'm not supposed to have you.
Right. All right. So your nickname is now Broccoli.
There you go.
Whatever.
I
Whatever.
always say my mom didn't know.
Yeah. Well, she raised a wonderful, smart woman and one that has a lot of
Oh, thank you.
empathy and a desire to help. Again, what's your website?
CandyHolmesFosterWellness.com.
And Holmes, by the way, Holmes, and everything else spelled
Right.
the way it sounds. Thanks for being here. So very much looking forward next time we get together.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Candy. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.